Hi, my name is Tia Moore. I'm a real estate agent with the NextView Home Professionals real estate team with eXp Realty. I'm also the business owner. My team primarily focuses on Maricopa and Pinal counties. We work all the way from Florence all the way out to Peoria, Goodyear, Litchfield. We work the entire valley. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over our buyer consultation with you. And when you finish watching this video, it should give you an idea of what to expect when you are purchasing a home in Arizona, when you're working with the NextView Home Professionals real estate team. One thing that I love about our group is that we're very cohesive. We stay in communication. There are multiple of us, which gives you the opportunity to make sure you're well represented by not just one real estate agent, but an entire team. And so if you haven't had the opportunity to speak or connect with us, I highly encourage you to give us a phone call. Our phone number is 480-281-3078. And then our website is www.nextviewre.com. And it'll also be in the comments, the show notes in this video. Be sure to leave a comment and let us know what your experience was watching this review. And if there's additional information that could be helpful, be sure to let me know so I can make sure that I get you guys that information. All right, I'm gonna share my screen with you so I can walk you through the slides. I'll pop in again at the end of the video so you'll be able to see my face, but I wanna make sure that you know I'm switching to a slide. So I'm gonna share my screen, just give me 1 second, okay? Let's see. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see, it says finding your dream home, NextView Home Professionals. So as I said before, in this consultation, my goal is so that you understand exactly what to expect when you are working with the NextView Home Professionals real estate team. So we're gonna go over what you should do to prepare, the steps in buying a home. So meaning what's happening once you actually start looking at homes. We're going to talk about hiring experts, who to hire. I'm going to give you an introduction of our team today, as it stands today, I should say, what services we offer, and then ultimately give you an opportunity to ask us any questions that you may have. Okay. We love this quote. We love Maya Angelou. This quote says, "The ache for home lives in all of us." Everybody needs a place to live. Ultimately, if you have to live somewhere, why not live in a home that you own? And you can ultimately help save yourself money by paying for the home you live in by paying for your own property and building equity versus paying it to a landlord and helping them increase in their wealth. So preparing to buy a home. So one of the things we always talk to our clients about is, what does the market look like? And it's going to be different based on the time that you purchase your home. And the reason that it's different is because the market changes all the time. The market that you see today may not necessarily be the market that you see tomorrow or even a year from now. So if for some reason you have had different experiences, whether this is your first home or this is your 10th home that you're purchasing or a different state, if you notice that there's a difference, sometimes the market requires different strategies and different approaches. And so we're going to talk a little bit about exactly where our market is today and help you understand exactly what to expect once you start looking at homes. So the average list price to sales price, what does that mean? The average list price to sales price is exactly what it is. Approximately how much is a home selling for in our market? Today, in our Phoenix market, homes are selling at about 98% of list price. So for example, if you find a place that's listed for $100,000, likely that house is going to sell for about $98,000. Why is that important? That really will help you generate how you should make an offer. Now, what I can tell you is some cities and some neighborhoods are outperforming that average. Like I said, that's the entire valley, the 98%. That's the entire valley, but some neighborhoods or some cities will outperform that if there's high demand. I don't see any cities that are below that number. So as of right now, it's a really strong market, and we've been pretty strong over the last several years in regards to that. And again, each property is different, each neighborhood is different. If there's a house that is in fantastic condition, you may expect that that house will sell for above the asking price. I can tell you, when I looked at reports from last month's sales, about 23% of homes that were sold for above the list price. And what that tells you is, on certain homes, there's just a much higher demand. Like I said, it's not uncommon to see 15, 20, 30 different offers on one home if it's extremely popular. And sometimes it's popular because of location, sometimes it's because of condition and age. There are a number of factors of what can drive that. What is our current listing inventory? That's a great question, because that is one of the reasons why 23% of the homes that sold last month sold for above asking, is because we have very little listing inventory. In our market, this same time last year, we had about 20,000 homes on the market. This year, actually, homes that were active on the market. This year, we are currently around 9,000, at least as of today. So 9,000 homes today versus 19,000 last year at this exact same time. It's going to create a more demand because there's more buyers in our market than there are homes for sale. In fact, we actually have more homes currently under contract than they're currently active listed for sale. And I can tell you now, the ones that are out there, if they're in good condition, they probably are there with multiple offers, or they're in not the best condition, or they're completely overpriced. So those are the only homes that we're seeing that are sitting. And so literally, I just answered that question. That's exactly how supply and demand will affect our market. If there were 30,000 homes on the market to 10,000 buyers, then that would be your opportunity to get a much better deal on a house, if you consider a deal, getting the lowest possible price. Right now in this market, the best possible deal is to actually secure a home. If you're able to secure a home and you're able to see the appreciation that will come next year, then that is completely a win, versus waiting and not buying, and then now houses are more expensive a year from now. That's equity you could have earned. So research early and thoroughly. So the first thing you definitely should do is hire a realtor. I can tell you that when I purchased my first home, I did not hire a realtor, and I regretted it. This was before I was an actual realtor. I regret it to this day. There were so many mistakes that I could have avoided, but I thought that my Google education would have helped me make the best possible decision. So what I will say is, you want to hire an experienced professional before you begin your as you begin your search, because they can give you information on all things real estate, and it'll ultimately save you time, and it'll hopefully save you money as well for making mistakes. Have an idea of what neighborhoods are most important to you. Talk to your agent about the things that are most important, whether it's community amenities, whether it's the schools in the neighborhood, what they offer. That's going to determine where you search for homes and how you search for homes. You have the opportunity to go and search on Zillow naturally. What I can tell you is, when you look at Zillow, when you look at Trulia, a lot of times the listing status on those properties is not up to date. So make sure that when you start your search, you're more than welcome to look at our website. We update it every 15 minutes with the current status of a property. So if you're searching for a home that is under contract on our website, it will tell you that it's under contract. It'll say that it is active under contract. And what that means is, it's under contract, but they may accept backup offers. They may not let you view it, but they may accept a backup offer from you. If it says pending, that means they've passed all inspections, they've passed all appraisals, and that sale is looking good to go to closing. So if you have, as you're exploring listings and you see that, like I said, make sure you take a look at our website, www.nextviewer.com. Get familiar with loan programs. And again, when you hire a realtor first, this is going to be an opportunity for you to open that dialogue and have that conversation and ask those questions. But there's definitely options for you. There's down payment assistance programs. A lot of first-time home buyers miss out on taking advantage of some of these programs that they're qualified for just because they didn't know they existed. Does that mean just because you're a first-time buyer, does that mean you need to use the down payment assistance? No, it doesn't mean that. but it means that there's an opportunity. There is information about each of these different types of loans that may cost you more money in terms of an interest rate. When you're purchasing, the things that you want to consider are location, affordability, and size. Location is one of the big reasons because, you know, maybe you want to be close to work. How far away from work do you want to be? Maybe it's more important to be near highways because you can get to work faster. You can get to places where you recreation. So definitely consider the location and how that's going to affect your life. Affordability, make sure that you're thinking, you know, when you purchase a home, you want to make sure that, you know, you still have the lifestyle that you desire and you can afford the home. Because that's going to be important. The last thing you want to do is be stuck in the house because you over purchased and now you don't have any money to do anything and enjoy your life. And ultimately, we want to make sure that you thrive in the home that you choose and that you do have an opportunity to gain equity so that, you know, you can save money, you can accomplish goals for whatever whatever you choose to do in the future. And then size, you know, you definitely want to make sure that it's the right size. So let's say, for example, you know, maybe right now you only need 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, but you are making plans. You're going to have another person living with you. Perhaps you'll have children, whatever the plans might be, you want to think through that. What I always tell people is think in terms of within 5 years. If within 5 years your life is going to drastically change, then that is what you want to determine when you purchase a home. Now, as I say that, you also don't want to, let's say, for example, what you can afford is a 3 bedroom, but in the future you'll need a 5 bedroom. My best advice would be to go forward with the 3 bedroom that you can afford and just be prepared that you're going to move again within 5 years. Because the nice thing is you can take the equity from that home and put it towards your next purchase for your bigger home as your lifestyle changes. So what are the steps to buying a home? So you have your property search. That's when you're on the internet, you're looking at homes, you're communicating with your realtor, preferably me or somebody from my team, and you're getting a feel of what it is that you want, what it is you can afford, how you'll be comfortable in your house. And so with our clients, we make sure that we take, in our first meeting with you, we're going to take clear inventory of exactly what it is that you're looking for, because ultimately we want to make sure that we show you the homes that fit exactly what you're looking for. And if for some reason there's a home that we think is great and it could fit your needs, we'll ask you first. We'll say, hey, I saw this home. It has, you know, all 10 of your must-haves, but it doesn't have one thing, or it has 10 of your must-haves, but it doesn't have the 11th. Here are the photos. Is this something that you would like to see? So we'll always ask you. We're not going to act like they do show on the reality shows and show you a home that doesn't fit your criteria. We want to show you exactly what it is that you're looking for. That saves you time. It saves you energy. It saves you a headache. And it ultimately contributes to you having a really good experience in your home purchase. So on average, the clients who work with us, they see about 5 homes or less before finding the perfect match. So if you walk into a home and that home that you walk into, it feels like the one, especially with such a competitive market, don't be afraid to tell us, because we may need to stop what we're doing and make sure that we submit an offer on that home right away. And sometimes it may take 3 or 4, but like I said, our average client reviews about 5 homes before they find the perfect match. Financial preparation. So one of the things when you work with our team, we have a whole list of loan officers that we can refer you to, that we are aware of how they perform, and they do a fantastic job. They get great reviews from our clients and others that we can introduce you to, because you want to talk to a loan officer to get your process started so that you know how much home that you can get approved for. So for example, you may feel that you can afford a $350,000 house. However, you may not be able to get a loan for $350,000. So what we always say do is talk to the loan officer, do the mortgage application to find out how much you can get approved for. The other reason why we require you to be pre-approved before you start your home search is because it's because let's say you like the house and you want to make an offer. Well, again, with our market being very competitive, if you're just starting your pre-qualification process, you're days behind. So if you're days behind with the pre-qualification, that home that you love so much will probably not be on the market by the time you get your pre-approval letter. So you want to make sure you do that before you ever even look at your first property. Sure, you can search online, you can do all that, but you want to make sure you meet with the loan officer, whether it's over the phone, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's in person. But you want to make sure that you have that meeting, you do the application so that you can see exactly where you would qualify at. Okay? All right, the other thing, what we do too, is we can provide you with a copy of the contract up front so that you can review it in advance, so that you have an idea of what's going to be, what is stated in that contract, and understand it. So the reason that's important is because if you're having to put in an offer really fast because 10 other offers are in on a house and you don't want to wait, you want to make sure you're comfortable with what it says. And I definitely don't want you to sign anything that you haven't read already. So with our contracts, most of it is boilerplate. The information is in there. However, there is some interchangeable information, such as the actual property, the address, the tax information, the price you're going to offer on the house. Perhaps you're asking for closing cost concessions or a home warranty. Maybe there's lead-based paint. We may need addendum. So all those things are important for you to have the opportunity to review before submitting an offer on anything. Okay. Now, let's say you found the perfect house and you submit an offer and it gets accepted. Well, first of all, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. So the first thing that you're going to be required to do is to deposit an earnest deposit. So an earnest deposit is a good faith payment that you put in with a title company, that the title and escrow company. The title and escrow company is a neutral third party, and they help facilitate the sale between the buyer and the seller. So yes, you still have your real estate agents, but then once you go in escrow, you have the title company. Their job is to make sure that the house is cleared of any liens before they transfer ownership to you, the new buyer. Okay, that is important because the last thing you want to do is to buy a house and then the next thing you know, there is an IRS lien from the prior owner or prior 3 owners that is all of a sudden attached to the house, and they're expecting you to pay it before you can sell it. That won't happen because your title company won't allow it. So you put your earnest deposit. You can either write a check, you can send a wire, you can deposit it with a money order. But typically it's about 1% of the offer price on the home. Now, is that flexible? Absolutely, that is flexible, but typically what sellers want to see is that in the event that you decide to breach contract, what are the alternatives? So as a buyer, you should know that you don't put the earnest money in and then it just disappears. It doesn't work that way. So let's say, for example, you put in a $1,000 earnest deposit. Well, assuming you execute the contract and you attend closing, once we are ready to close on that $1,000 is applied to your total closing cost amount. So you do get credit for that at the end. Let's say, for example, you're approved for it, and we've done inspections, you're ready to go forward with the purchase, and all of a sudden you just say, whoops, I changed my mind. Well, you can tell the seller to take the earnest deposit in lieu of coming after you with a lawsuit. So those are the options. In terms of your home inspection, that's the other step. So after you deposit your earnest deposit, you're going to do a home inspection. The home inspection is so that the home can be checked for major defects. So the home inspector is looking for electrical issues, plumbing issues, roof issues, air conditioning issues, the big items, right? Things that are going to cost you a lot of money. And it's typically conducted within the first 10 days of opening escrow. Why is 10 days important? Well, 10 days is important because that is your inspection period, typically. That number can be more or less depending on what you've written in your contract. So for example, if you do your home inspection within the first 10 days and there's something about the house that you don't like, perhaps you research the schools, perhaps you research crime statistics and you don't like it, then that is your opportunity to cancel that contract and cancel the escrow, and then you get reimbursed for your earnest money deposit. After the home, and actually let me go back. During the home inspection period, let's say, for example, the air conditioner is not working and you want the air conditioner to be repaired, part of the inspection period is to request from the seller certain repairs be made prior to closing. And that seller can either choose to agree to make the repairs, or they can say no. If they choose to make the repairs, you move forward with the purchase. If they say no, then you have the ability to cancel the contract immediately. Okay. All right, and after this inspection is done, everybody's negotiated, the house is in good shape, you're moving forward, then the appraisal will happen. So here's the best part about an appraisal. With an appraisal, you know that the home that you're purchasing is actually worth the amount that you're purchasing it for. So for example, let's say you are buying a $200,000 home, the appraiser comes in and they check the values of the home and they say the home is worth $210,000. Well, that's amazing because you're walking in with $10,000 in equity. A lot of times you'll see it come in right on the money, right around 200, and then on occasion, the house can appraise for less. What we do to try to prevent that from happening is we'll look at the comparable sales and tell you what other homes that are similar in the area are selling for to help avoid that. But if the house doesn't appraise for at least what it's worth, you as a buyer do not have to move forward with that sale. You can cancel the sale. A lot of times what will happen is the seller may lower their listing price for you, or, like I said, it's a possibility of cancellation too. So, and you do get your earnest money back if you cancel due to a low appraisal. So in here, I have the average cost is between $350. Honestly, right now, because appraisers are extremely busy, you may see that price range between $500 to $700. Some lenders tend to overcharge for appraisals. If you want to know my opinion, we typically refer you to the people that's going to give you the best fees, and they're not going to add surcharges on any amounts that you're paying for. So, but I would say right now, even though I have in here $350, that's because it's so busy and there's such high demand for appraisers, they're charging a little bit more. So it's probably looking out closer to $500. So average timeline. So as I mentioned before, your first 10 days is when you're going to deposit your earnest money. You're going to have your home inspection scheduled and conducted, and then determine what repairs you're going to either have made or figure out which repairs that you want to request for the seller to fix based on the home inspection. And then you're also going to make sure you obtain a homeowner's insurance quote. So a lot of people say, oh, well, I can just call the company that does my car insurance. That doesn't mean you're going to get the best rate. Make sure you ask me. We have a great insurance broker that they can get rates for 15 different insurance companies. So that way you don't have to call 10, you can call one, because they're going to be able to quote it through multiple companies for you. So if you want that referral, be sure to give me a phone call. All right, so that's the first through 10 days. So again, you're going to be inspecting the house, you're going to be inspecting the location, you're going to be doing your research on schools if that's important to you, research on crimes, any pool restrictions, different things like that. Again, if it's specific to your house that you're buying. Between day 10 and 20, the seller will respond to the inspection. So remember when I said that the seller has the opportunity to respond with you yes or no of what they will agree to repair. So that you can expect that to occur within the 10 to 20 day time period. The appraisal gets conducted, and then your loan processing enters into the final stages. So one thing I can tell you is that be prepared. Your loan officer and me, we're going to be asking you for a lot of information on a very short time frame. So just understand time is of essence, and you just have to provide the information. The average escrow typically lasts about 30 days, and the process goes fast. And you may feel a little bit overwhelmed because the information is required and it's urgent for right now. But my ultimate goal and my team's ultimate goal is to make sure that you have the least amount of stress possible throughout this process. So our job is to help be a buffer for you in that. If there's ever anything that you don't understand or you have questions about, just understand and know that no question is a silly question, and we want you to ask anything that pops into your brain, because we want to make sure that you feel comfortable and you have as much knowledge as possible as you're going through this process, okay? All right, so days 20 through 30. So this is where everything comes to fruition. So you get your loan approval. Your lender will say, congratulations, we have the final approval from the underwriter and you're good to go on your loan. So I'm going to stop right there and tell you, Loan approval does not mean it's over, okay? It's not over until we actually close on the sale. So once you, throughout this entire process, do not open up new lines of credit. Don't quit your job. Do not go out and buy a car. Don't apply for a furniture credit card. Don't do any of those things while you're in escrow, while you're shopping for a home. You wait until after your loan is 100% complete. A lot of people don't know, but the lender does do a final review of everything before they send the money to close on your house. So I'll go in a little bit more detail in just a minute. Okay, so you got your loan approval, your homeowner's insurance. You're going to make sure you provide that to your loan officer because you cannot close without it. And then the last thing you'll do, well, the second to last thing, you'll conduct the final walkthrough, and we confirm if the repairs have been made. What we recommend you do is the same home inspector that you hired to inspect the house, you have them come and do a final review of any repairs that have been agreed upon so that they can show you and confirm that they've been repaired. Now, if it's something that you can easily spot visually, go for it. Maybe you don't want to get an inspector, for example, if a light didn't work and now you can just go and flip the switch and now the light is working, you can. But if you also want to make sure you want the electrician to go and check to make sure that it was done properly, we recommend you do that. Okay, so that's the benefit of the final walkthrough. A lot of people get excited and they start taking measurements because they're preparing to purchase furniture, but they know that they will not purchase anything until closing, right? So after closing happens. So what you'll do is typically about 3 days before the actual closing date, you'll go to the title company, or the title company will send a notary to you and you'll sign your loan documents. Quite frankly, it is a very thick stack of paperwork that you go through. Your hand may cramp, but it's going to be the best signing, the best documents that you're signing, because at the end of it, you're going to have your home, right? So you sign everything. The notary will send it to the escrow officer. The escrow officer prepares and sends it back to the lender. The lender checks it for accuracy, and then they prepare to send the wire for the home. So remember, we talked about, let's say if the house was $200,000, obviously you're going to make down payments and things like that. But for the sake of this conversation, the lender is scheduled to wire $200,000 to the title company. They will send the wire. Once the title company has the wire, they'll notify whichever county that you're purchasing in that there's been a new transfer. They wait for it to record. On the actual closing day, usually the 30th day, sometimes longer, sometimes less. But on that actual day, once we have confirmation that the loan has recorded, that means everything is done. Your loan is done. You can move into the house and you get your keys, which is the best part. You get your keys. Who doesn't love that? So that is, that's the process in a nutshell. Obviously, without going through the contract, which, like I said before, I can give you a copy of that. That's a really simple process to do. And it hits on all of the things that I've spoken about in this conversation, plus some others. The reason you want to hire an expert is because, most people purchase, most people purchase one home in their entire lifetime. In Arizona, it tends to be a little bit more frequent, probably between 1 and 3. We're doing that on a daily basis. So we're going to see things that you may not have ever seen before, but we possibly have, and we're going to know how to handle it for you. We are experienced negotiators. We know how to help get you the best possible price or the best possible repairs, to make sure that you're in a good position after you've actually purchased this house. Because like I said before, we want to make sure that you have a fantastic experience both buying the house and also living in the house. Because ultimately, we want you to tell all of your friends about us, because word of mouth advertisement is the best, and we like to work with people that we like and know. The other benefit is that we do have knowledge of both resale homes, new construction, land, custom construction, condominiums, for sale by owner, etc. A lot of people ask me about foreclosures. I have information about that as well. And then we also have access to properties that you may not even find on Zillow. For example, we have a list of 10 clients right now that their homes will go on the market soon, but they're not on the market yet. However, some of them do allow showings. And so if it's a house that may fit your needs, that's an opportunity for you to view the house before anybody else views it. So there are your benefits, right? All right, so at NextView Home Professionals, we definitely want to be your partner in finding you the perfect home that fits you. We understand that buying and selling a home is more than just a transaction, and it truly is a life-changing experience. So our team, we certainly we certainly love to work with people that have been referred to us, who we know. We also have a lot of clients that just find us through Google and find us online, and we love working with them. So this just tells you a little bit about our background, some information. We do have members on our team that are bilingual, English and Spanish. Like I said before, we cover the entire valley, but we're energetic, we're smart, we are great negotiators, and we have a great reputation in the industry, which is also important to you, because when you're making offers on homes, you want to make sure that you are working with somebody that's going to be able to communicate with other agents, and other agents want to work with, because that actually influences if your offer gets accepted or not. Okay. Feel free to check our reviews online. We have information about that, and you can see exactly how we work. Some of the things that we do. So we do research. Some clients want information. Let's say, for example, you're thinking about purchasing an investment property or flipping a property for investment. We provide research for our clients. Let's say you've been in your house for a year after you've purchased it, and you just want to know the value of that home. We can help you with that too, and give you a comprehensive look at exactly what you could get for your house. We also have clients who pay cash for a house. If you need to make a move right away, we can assist you with that. And that's between research and consultation, that goes hand in hand. Again, same thing with negotiating terms and conditions of a purchase that you're moving forward with. We help you negotiate. And ultimately, we want to be your resource. If you need a roofer, if you need a plumber, if you need a new loan officer because you're going to be refinancing, and you want to make sure you get the best possible rate. You want to know, who has the best rates right now in the industry. We ultimately want to be your resource so that you don't have to go to 10 different people, and hopefully help you cut that time in half. Like I said, you guys can review some of our reviews online and get some information from there. So what I was explaining to you in regards to representation, we call that buyer agency. So if you decide to hire an agent that will represent you, it's considered buyer agency. 100% of our clients choose buyer agency when we work with them as buyers. Ultimately, that's a commitment between you and them that says, okay, I'm going to work with you as my agent. The time that you invest, you're going to make sure that, I'm your only client, and I'm going to make sure that I prioritize you as my client too, because we have that agreement. So we charge a 3% commission fee. In most cases, the seller of the property does agree to compensate us for representing you, the buyer. And so in this case, the fee gets paid at closing after you're happy and you're ready to move into the house. And so what that means is, we look up a house that's on the MLS and the multiple listing service, and there is a commission offered. That's the amount that we're paid. And that is paid through the listing agent technically. And so it's pre-negotiated between the listing agent and the seller, and then the listing agent will agree to pay us a portion of that if we close escrow with our buyer. In the event that you do not find a home that you like and you decide to stop your search and put it on hold for a while, we won't charge you anything. We may charge a retainer fee for certain consultation purposes. Usually it's with investors that have an extensive list of things that they would like us to do on an ongoing basis, but typically we will not charge a retainer fee. So again, because we don't charge a fee up front, we require an exclusive employment agreement, and that's just saying, yep, I agree, I'm going to work with you guys exclusively, and we're going to make this happen. And so if you don't want to do that, that's okay too, but we would charge you a retainer fee in order to represent you without an agreement. Client support, you will be your primary agent. We'll show you homes, negotiate your contracts. You can reach us pretty much all the time up until 9 p.m. at night, because we have to sleep and be refreshed so that we can negotiate the best possible deals for you the next day. So as I mentioned in the call, my name is Tia Moore. I totally need to update this photo. Fatty L is our fantastic buyer specialist. She does a fantastic job with our clients, and she's also, like I mentioned before, she's bilingual. She speaks English and she speaks Spanish. And then we have Samantha. Samantha is amazing. You'll meet her usually through email after a year in escrow, but she'll stay in contact with you, giving you reminders of what happens next and what needs to be done. So let's go find your home. If you guys have any questions after watching this video, feel free to give us a phone call. Like I said, our phone number is 480-281-3078. Our website, I know I've mentioned it a couple times, but it's www.nextviewre.com. We would love to hear from you, and also feel free to follow us on all of the socials. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, most active on Facebook and Instagram though. So feel free to give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Bye.